really clean. Mine isn't, not yet. I'm not hiding. The sacred secretion, once it's gone up and your house is really clean, there's an excess of cerebrospinal fluid, and it can be sucked from the roof of your mouth into your mouth, where you can ingest it. That's the manna from heaven. This is why children suck. That's why children suck their thumbs. It calms them. That's why. And what do adults do? They tell them to stop sucking their thumb. Anyway, that's why King David said, my tongue cleaves to the roof of my mouth. So in other words, if your tongue is cleaving to the roof of your mouth, you're not going to be sticking it out, talking, but also you're receiving the manna from heaven. But the Israelites, they were unhappy, and we want flesh. So God sent them quails. But people just read this and they don't really give it any thought. You know, what does it mean? It's a quail. It's a stupid little bird. It's practically tame. They don't fly very well. They're easily caught. Yeah. So God sent them quails, and they ate the quails. So look at the metaphor. What's that story telling you? So the Israelites were receiving the manna from heaven in direct communication with God, their brain, fully conscious, but were looking back on their past lives with the Egyptians and the pharaohs. They wanted what they used to have. That's the carnal mind. So God sent them quails, a stupid bird. There's nothing wrong with the bird, the quail. It's a story. It's teaching you something. A stupid bird, which doesn't fly very high, and it's easily caught. You see? So they were eating dead flesh. They can't fly very high. In other words, their own consciousness remains low, and is subsequently easily caught. Now you want to be free. Now I would suggest to you that being caught is the opposite of being free. Hence the need not to eat dead flesh. To clean the house as Jesus instructed. Now your brain, your God, can tolerate the consumption of dead flesh, but you don't fly very high. And you're trying to climb the mountain. You're trying to raise the energy. You're trying to fly high. You're trying to soar with eagles. Don't get trapped in the wilderness with the quails. Now the story's got some meat on it. Now you can chew the cud. Like I said, it's in full effect. There are scientists walking around the Sinai Peninsula looking for evidence of the Israelites. Did it really happen? I don't know. I wasn't there. Why not? Maybe it did. What purpose does it serve you, knowing that it happened then? Surely it would benefit you more to know that it's happening now. So who is the Pharaoh? It's your lowly and little consciousness. It's the one that keeps you as a slave, makes you feel bad, drives you nuts. The Israelites were told to put blood on the door for the Passover. So when death came, to take the firstborn, the Israelites wouldn't be touched. The door is the same door that Jesus spoke about. When you knock, it will be. I will open it. So you raise the secretion up, which is Jesus, and you knock on the door, which is the pineal gland, and it opens. That's the sacrifice. So the blood will be on the door. That's what it's about. I had an email, and there's one email, well, two actually. A lady said that a lot of YouTube channels are talking about the Kundalini, but she suspects that they haven't had the experience. I find that as well. It's an experience you have for yourself. I know for a fact that a few of my subscribers have had the experience, and we've had email exchanges. What was the other email? Excuse me for a moment. David Icke. Now, David Icke, I'm sure you're all aware of David Icke. Now, he talks about consciousness and stuff like that, which is fine. Lots of people are. But he's not explaining a way out of it. He's explaining an uprising. But there's no point in having an uprising if your consciousness is still lowly and little. You can't use a lowly and little consciousness to fix problems created by a lowly and little consciousness. You can't. You have to rise your consciousness to fix problems created by low consciousness. And you do that here first. And when you do, I would suggest to you that you will not want to lead. You will not want to lead anybody. The concept of ownership becomes it's just a manifestation of personal greed. You don't own anything. You merely have the use of something for a limited period of time, and that includes your body. If you're wise and raise the energy, your consciousness can be used forever. Isn't it odd that Jesus died and then 3 days later he came back and no one recognized him? Build back better. Get it? So it's about rebuilding your own consciousness. Swapping out that dusty old shithole, Damascus. Getting rid of all that filth and rebuilding Jerusalem. New Jerusalem. The source from where all light flows. Light is consciousness, awareness. Darkness is ignorance. And willful ignorance. But I like eating meat. I'll ignore what Danny said about that, and I'll ignore what it says here, because I don't like that. But the rest of it I like. That's called cherry picking. That's the carnal mind. Until you get rid of the carnal mind, or put it in its place as a servant, you will be its slave. And the Pharaoh will rule over you and won't let you go. And then you'll experience the plagues and everything else, which is sure to come. So it's time to remove the mask, the persona, where the governments are telling you to keep your mask on. Do you see the esoteric ritual that's being played out? The subconscious mind recognizes it. Your higher self knows the truth. It is the truth. It knows what's going on. But it's waiting for your mind to rise itself, to see for itself, to understand. And don't get caught up in words too much. They're also just concepts. When you get beyond concepts, you get to the point where there is nothing, but you still are. Then you're not in the box. And that is an internal experience of being free. You can't buy it, neither can you give it away. It's always there. It's always been there. It's there for the taking. You just need to climb your own mountain and take it. It's difficult. It's difficult because your mind will get in the way and it will make you stumble. Get back up. You're going to learn truths about yourself that you won't like. Tough. This is the hero's journey. It's an inward journey. It's a retrospective, inward-looking journey. And it reveals itself. And it's very profound. And more often than not, defies definition. Because if you could understand God, or if you could understand the true nature of reality in its entirety, then it would just be another concept, and it wouldn't be worth knowing, would it? But to know and to be known, that's enough. Trust me on that. And when you have that experience, you will have no need for belief systems. Why would you need to believe something when you know something? And that knowing is ratified by an experience that will stand your world upside down. But in actual fact, you're now the right way up.